No, not that. Fix it or it's going to bother me. I hate it when it does that. Come on. Reticulate those splines. Firewall set up. I believe desk is nearly active. Are we clear? All right, it looks like all systems are go. And that means, yes! Hello there, Site 42 staff, as well as those of you from the greater SCP Foundation community. And welcome to another Office Hours with Dr. Sherman, a subsidiary of the anomalous broadcast from Site 42. As always, I am Dr. Theron Sherman, Site Director and Head Containment Specialist here at Site 42. And as I have done daily for nearly 6 months straight, the streak continues strong. We are here again for our daily stream, this time a full 3 hours for us to talk shop about our jobs here at the SCP Foundation. As always, if you've got questions, I've got answers. So whether you want to talk about the anomalies we contain, the staff that contains them, the groups of interest who get a little tetchy about the whole containing thing, or hypothetical containment procedures about anomalies that are outside of the SCP Foundation's purview. Perhaps they're from a different multiverse or pataphysical narrative level, i.e. fandom. I am here for the next 3 hours to answer your questions. So, starting out before we begin, I see the desk is having some wet dog troubles. Hilarious. And at least you made it, desk. At least you made it. So, while we're at it, Junior Researcher Sally, congratulations on being the most punctual and being our first chatter of today's stream. Congratulations. Along with you, Junior Researcher Sally, how about hello to Amber, Dr. Puppeteer, Junior Researcher HLG, Legendary Doge, Chris the Direwolf Boy, Silent Follower, AA Blackwood America, Der Kaiser, Puppet Boy, Researcher Voidel, Zombie Cat, it looks like Aoki, Jonathan Peters, Mobile Task Force Captain Hikari, everyone who I have thusly named, thank you all for your exceptional punctuality to today's stream, and thank you as well for being members. We appreciate your membership and your service. Meanwhile, Hunter, the Mighty Troll, Luca, M. Winchester, and the Forest Eyes. Welcome to stream to all of you as well, and thank you for being here, just for being you today. So, where are we at in the chat? Well, first of all, Doc, you've got a really cool shirt. Well, thank you. My mother bought this for me for Christmas, and it's the Leaning Tower of Chisa. You know, it's too cool for school. You got to roll with that. Meanwhile, well, Captain Hikari, happy tomorrow birthday to you. We'll get you for that tomorrow as well if you make it to the stream. Now, let me do a little housekeeping before we begin. First and foremost, I have been calculating the membership goal that we in the Containment Hazard Assessment team here have been striving towards. So if you're unfamiliar, and by the way, Player and Devin, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. So, you guys have been trying to reach membership goals in order to get me to do stupid human tricks, the standard tradition of YouTubers across the world. Even site directors of the SCP Foundation are not immune. So, you guys need to reach 2,500 members on the channel to get me to dye my hair pink, which I have been informed I should really talk to my stylist about before guaranteeing that it'll be done in the very next setting, because we need to make sure we can remove green and purple to put pink in. It might not work on the first try, so it'll be this time or next time. We're sorting it out. Secondarily, though, the 5,000 member goal is that you all want me to purchase a maid dress so we can do a Dr. Sherman from the Cat Made Waifu Dimension stream. This is what you asked for. I don't know why, but fine. If that's what you want so bad. Furthermore, especially if Java Name shows up, we can inform them of this scenario. It turns out that new memberships are added in the back end of YouTube 2 days after they are gifted. So today, the membership bump from Java Name's epic gifting stream has hit the channel analytics. Today's number is 1,703. Now, of course, remember, in going toward these membership goals, every day someone's membership expires and the number goes down. So it's not just adding on to the current number. We also have to get enough to overtake the losses. So I'm just getting you guys the milestone goals. Today's stream is not sponsored except for by viewers like you through your memberships and donations. We appreciate your memberships and your service here at Site 42, especially in the battle against the white names. And before I move on to today's main event, I see some donations here. I'll get out of the way real quick. Jonathan, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself some mashed potatoes and gravy on your way past the commissary. Dr. Sherman, good news. The buyout of Aperture Science was an incredible success. The portal guns will surely be a boon for containing anomalies. Well, or they will be a hazard for containing anomalies because they can literally portal out of their rooms. We've got to be very careful about the portaling. We need to think really hard with portals on that situation. It could get really bad. So be careful. Junior Researcher HLG, today is a 3-hour stream of which we are about 10 minutes in. Meanwhile, M. Winchester, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself some Cheese Whiz on your way past the commissary, because you're saying your donation was for the Goofy movie shirt. Oh, let me tell you, the best Disney movie, hands down, my favorite film of all time. I'll have you know, Powerline, Epic Bops, and let's not forget the whole reason I went to Salt Lake City back in August. It was not to visit Rad, that was just a nice side quest to my real thing, which was a birthday viewing of the Goofy movie live in theaters with audience interaction stuff run by Disney. It was pretty good. It was a pretty good time. So yes, all day long Goofy movie, hells to the yeah. Indecisive, long time no see, good to see you. So, here, for a short time, I'm going to run through the purpose of the title of the stream, the main event, so I will suspend shoutouts, donations, and all that for the next 5 to 10 minutes, and then once I am through the main event, then we will commence our normal yapping stream. So, what are we talking about regarding Look upon my works, ye mighty, and despair? Well, if you are non-familiar, then you are, if you're not familiar with that line, then you are not familiar with the poem Ozymandias. But before we get to Ozymandias, I have to warn you guys. Famed SCP YouTuber and podcast producer Radiger has a new video. It dropped on the channel this morning, and I tell you what, it is a banger. It is not SCP related, but you should really put Radiger's video in your watch later, especially if you like the arts, which we are an arts community, the SCP Foundation, so probably you have an interest in the arts if you hang out with us. And, oof, the feelings are intense. The subject byline of the video you're going into, for spoilers' sake, is a short video on the transient nature of art and humanity. You know, all humans die at some point, except for the immortal ones we have in containment. But anyways, all humans die at some point, and all art will be destroyed and or forgotten by the ravages of time. And so, in that scenario, Radiger is opining about some local art things. And I'm not going to spoil any more than that. Just check out Radiger's video. It is fire. But that made me think about my own existential crisis with the transience of human existence. And that was the first time I read the poem Ozymandias. And if you're unfamiliar, it's a short poem. So I'm just going to read it to you real quick. And if I were a better YouTuber, I would have had this up in the first place. So, Ozymandias by Percy Shelley. It's just a sonnet. It's that short. So here is our subject byline. And in fact, let me get some more dramatic music for this, huh? There we go. I met a traveler from an antique land who said, "Two vast and trunkless legs of stone stand in the desert. Near them, on the sand, half sunk a shattered visage lies, whose frown and wrinkled lip and sneer of cold command tell that its sculptor well those passions read, which yet survive stamped on these lifeless things, the hand that mocked them, and the heart that fed. And on the pedestal, these words appear: My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, ye mighty, and despair. Nothing beside remains. Round the decay of that colossal wreck, boundless and bare, the lone and level sands stretch far away." It's short, but evocative. This is a classic piece of writing for a reason. And the short of it is that no matter how big you get for your britches, you will be gone one day. And they say that the thing that separates man from animals is our awareness of death. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. I'm sure other animals are aware of death in one way or another, I would think. But perhaps we're the ones who are just the most anxietous about it. And, you know, I am like Matt Pat, like Hank Green. I am an elder YouTuber. And so, at that point, you start thinking about, okay, well, what is your life worth? What did you do with yourself? What is going to be your legacy, if legacy is even a thing, by the time everyone is forgotten? And I guess the way I deal with this existential crisis is that I imagine that the people making art in the world, they affect the DNA of humanity in a small way, a butterfly effect kind of way, just a small twitch that changes the course of human history. And a dilemma that we've seen in at least the American education system is the bylining of financial resources for arts, for drama, for theater, for band, for music, and instead putting it all into STEM, all into the hard sciences. And we can see what happens when you don't have an education in the humanities, in the lack of empathy in people around, the lack of media literacy, so to speak. And so, at least how I deal with the crippling existential crisis of knowing that one day I will be gone, and one day that no one will know who I am, no one will ever know my work. It's that the people who are affected by my art and the people I inspire to make art, despite the hard work that it takes to make art, besides the hard work that it takes to train yourself with the pen to draw, or the paint, or the written word, the more people I inspire to make art, the wider the tree branches down into the annals of history. And you know what? As far as that goes, I guess that's the best we're gonna get, huh? What do we do otherwise? Also, don't at me about the movie Coco. I cry every time. Whew. Kai the Cryptid, this song is called Mirage by Kevin MacLeod, by the way. And so on top of that, just simple talking about Ozymandias and all that, it did drive me to see, okay, well, Ozymandias is one of the most well-known sonnets, poems in the written history. So obviously it's made its way to the SCP Foundation at some point, right? Surely someone has a take on this. Pardon. On the SCP Wiki. And of course, who else appears but one of SCP's most prolific current authors, Rounderhouse. Titling the article simply Ozymandias, King of Kings, I believe. Let me just double check myself there. SCP-4355, Ozymandias, King of Kings. I had never read this article, but it's definitely getting a upvote from me dog. Because this is a fairly short article for the current modern wiki. And, of course, it deals with someone dealing with this same existential crisis. Somewhat. It seems less about the fear of death itself and being forgotten as just the want for fame itself. The want for notoriety. And of course, like any good monkey's paw wish, you'll get what you want, but definitely not in the way you want it. So along with Radiger's video on the transience of life and art, I want you to add to your to-do list after today's office hours a quick reading of SCP-4355. It is currently at a plus 245 on the wiki. It does not have many YouTube videos about it. It's not big in the fandom, so to speak. But it is a nice little article, and I think you'll enjoy it. And finally, on my pre-office hours yapping, before we get back to the chat, I just want you guys to know one thing. Yesterday was the 1-year anniversary of SCP author Yosiposi putting SCP-8980 into the world. Now you all know, if you've been to my stream enough, SCP-8980 is one of my favorite SCPs. And unlike the rest of my favorite SCPs, that article is not a happy fun time with good yuck jokes. It is the most brutal, horrifying tale of physical and emotional abuse I have ever read. It is disgusting and horrifying. And all my homies hate Dr. Christopher Burns. You're all well familiar with this. But what you may have missed, if you're not following me on other social media platforms, is to commemorate the occasion of the 1-year anniversary of 8980. Yossi dropped additional materials. There is now a tale on the wiki called Feminine Whales. And Feminine Whales is a long-form poem in the perspective of Lillian, with inserts in the format from the other researchers involved in her captivity. So, your final piece of homework after this stream, after Radiger's video, after the SCP-4355 Ozymandias article, is to read Feminine Whales, and if you haven't, read SCP-8980 and then Feminine Whales, because oof. So, that is our opening salvo. We are 20 minutes into a 3-hour office hours. Some of you are just coming into stream now, so you've missed the opening main event of the stream, which you can go back and rewatch. But for the rest of the stream, I'm answering your chats. I am talking about the SCP Foundation. For those of you in the chat being confused, it is the word feminine and then wails as in cries. W-A-I-L-S. No. The feminine whales are in containment over in Sector 5, the Aquatics Division. So meanwhile, Jellyfish Guy, Mondome, the Pixel Warriors, welcome to Site 42 staff, thank you for subscribing. And to the many of you who have come in during that, hey, welcome to our SCP Foundation chat stream. Once a day for the last 5.5 months and change and counting. The streak continues strong. I'm here to talk about the SCP Foundation and answer your burning questions. So, Silent Follower, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself some pomegranate on your way past the commissary. So, trying to find meaning in the fleeting moments of one's existence? You know, you've got to balance out the legacy you leave behind and the time you've got. You can't focus on too much of one and not the other. You got to find your balance. You got to live the life you have, and also, you've got to plan for the future. Gay. Well, Elite Agency, we are an arts community. You should be, in fact, expecting a lot of that. Come on, you ever been to the theater? I don't think I have the emotional capacity right now from the shit going on to read 8980. I'll read it a different time. Wise decision. Yes, let me put it like this. The 8980 and Feminine Whales pairing can wait until you are in the mind space to handle them. Because I shit you not, 8980 will mentally punch you in the gut and then spit in your eye. So, be fucking careful with that story. I have affected people over on Tumblr with my way of words that cause pain. If I can do that, I can definitely do more and be more powerful than I'm giving myself credit for. I mean, that's the way of it. The words we speak matter, and the effect they can have in the world is revolutionary when done correctly. So yes, never sell yourself short. Just a few words can change the course of human history. Dr. Sherman, what Snorlax merchandise do you have? Well, not a whole lot, really. I have the Snorlax Squishmallow I've shown you on stream, as well as the crocheted Snorlax that's about the same size that Goose gave to me one holiday. And then I have a Snorlax Hawaiian shirt that I wear sometimes. Well, that's about it. I'm not very materialist. I don't have a lot of stuff. Cullivan, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself some tres leches cake on your way past the commissary. Hey boss, just stopping by to say hi, have a ton of paperwork and life stuff. Well, take care of yourself, get things done. Make sure to watch at least the opening of today's stream, because we covered some good material you're not going to want to miss out on. Greetings from Prometheus Labs, Dr. Sherman. Dr. Noss, at least in my universe, Prometheus Labs has been defunct for a rather long time. Our staff absorbed a lot of their researchers, to be sure. Do you still identify with the labs after all this time? Are you from a universe where Prometheus Labs is still on hand? Are you defecting from Prometheus Labs? I'm confused about your status, is what I'm saying. But I'll still see what else you said. I was designed to be a leading researcher for SCP-738. What are your thoughts on it, Dr. Sherman? Well, I'm unfamiliar above 738 from my top of my head. The Devil's Deal with the chairs and the desks. Yes, a fine article. Nothing too out there for what we normally contain. And there isn't exactly a lot of containment risk to it. So, yeah, just don't put anyone who's going to wish for something crazy in there, and we should be fine. SCP-738, The Devil's Deal, in case you're not familiar, is a matched set of mahogany furniture, including one desk, currently labeled 738-1, a straight-back chair labeled 738-2, and an ornate throne-styled office chair, labeled 738-3, all with brass embellishments and royal purple padding. When someone sits in the chair facing the desk, an entity will appear. Or no, the entity doesn't appear immediately. Quills, papers, audio recorders record a distorted voice. It seems like it only appears to the person who's seated in the chair. But you can make a deal with this devil and wishes, but, you know, wishes that probably won't work out as good as you would like them to. It also doesn't like answering questions about itself, because of course it doesn't. Yes, our desk gets very jealous of other mahogany desks that are mentioned. I should have thought about that before I proceeded. Hey, Dr. Sherman, is there any certain article you would recommend for a junior researcher? Well, I would imagine that the ones I recommended for the day, such as SCP-4355, would be a good starting point. Another intervention, yes, sadly we went bankrupt, but Mana Charitable Foundation helped us rebuilding our company. Interesting. I'll have to take notes about the proceedings of Prometheus Labs in this other universe. That on its own would be very interesting. If you want to take a break from studying 738, which is a very well understood to the point that we can't understand an anomaly, and just fill us in on the details there, that could be very useful. Do you think Wiki is a good website for info, Dr. Sherman? Well, intern Moonlit, the SCP Wiki is the sole source of SCP Foundation lore. You know, if you're a Marvel fan, then you're dealing with the canonicity of the comic books versus the MCU and all that business, same with DC. But for the SCP Wiki, you've got the SCP Wiki database, which is the canon of the SCP universe. And then you've got people like me who make content about the Wiki, and we can hypothesize, we can go off on our own tangents and thought process things that aren't canon proper. But there is one sole light of information, and that's the SCP database. And be careful about off-site sources like the Amino or the Fandom Wiki, because you get a lot of non-canon material there. Do you believe that SCP-5031, not another murder monster, would be good at any other task or hobby like it is with cooking and music? Oh, I believe that especially now that it's reached the apex of those two professions, it would be very easy for 5031 to uptake other skills. Because, I don't know if you guys know this, but a lot of skills are interrelated in that by getting really, really good at just one thing, it also teaches you how to learn and how to get good and practice at things. And so once you're really, really good at one thing, you can start to use the fact that you learned how to do that to learn how to do other things. For instance, I, for the long bulk of my life in the beginning, was not good at anything. And then I took up singing, and I was in choir, I was a singer, and that taught me how to at least count music. And because I could at least count music, I could also learn to dance, because I had to learn to move on rhythm. And although I had the music, I didn't have the physical coordination. But when I practiced and got the physical coordination, all of a sudden, I also got very good at learning how to do yoga or learning how to work out at the gym, because it's just another physical sport like dancing. And so you can kind of skill tree, offshoot the branches, and do all sorts of self-betterment if you start with one good skill learned extremely well. So yes, I highly recommend the practice makes perfect method, picking something very, very good, and then using that to interrelate yourself through the educations. Mirak, your message was removed because we have a channel-wide rule that we do not speak about the character known as Dr. Bright on this channel. The SCP community, almost as an entire majority, has decided we don't talk about that guy no more because it's the self-insert character of an author who did a lot of skeezy stuff, allegedly. We have a video on the channel called The Last Death of Dr. Jack Bright, if you want a quick summary of the situation, but suffice it to say, we don't talk about Bruno here. And it's okay, you didn't know. That's why I have to bring it up once in a while, because it is important to not hit people up on that on instinct. I mean, here's the funny thing. The SCP Wiki has 15,000-ish stories between the SCP articles and the tales. It has about 2,000 to 3,000 authors. No, it's like 1,000 to 2,000 authors. And then membership is something like 10,000 to 20,000. But my YouTube channel has 1.6 million followers. Just the amount of people who go to the SCP Wiki versus the amount of people who just stick around YouTube is so much that community drama does not get out of the Wiki very often. And so I understand that part of my job here as a content creator in the field is to educate people to the site history so that we don't have this trouble all the time. It's a slow process, but we do what we can. If you put the Plague Doctor in SCP-3008, so SCP-049 and then the Infinite IKEA, would he try to cure it? Wait. Intern Liam. SCP-049 is an anomaly, and all anomalies under Foundation containment are considered objects. That means that SCP-049 is an it, not a he, not a she, an it. Please practice proper pronoun parlance protocols at the Foundation. Would it try to cure them? And what if the acutely have the pestilence? I want to know your approach to this question. Do you mean what if they actually? And so, to my knowledge, we have not tested an iteration of SCP-3008-2 with SCP-049, the Plague Doctor. Now, any survivors, any inhabitants of SCP-3008, those are human beings, or I guess could be other multi-dimensional beings. And they would or would have the pestilence as any living being would in 049's eyes. Remember, I don't actually think there is a pestilence. I think 049 is full of it, but that's beside the point right now. What it thinks the pestilence is, I would imagine that I feel as if the -2s, the IKEA employees, would kind of be like a hive mind. where either one has the pestilence or none of them do. But maybe they have an individuality that we don't know about. So unfortunately, I can't branch too far down this hypothetical any further because we just don't know the answers to that. This is coming. What about other guys like Kondraki and Gears, or are they banned too? Kondraki and Gears are not banned from the channel. Even though the author of Dr. Kondraki was banned from the wiki, it wasn't for anything that made everybody on the site want to delete the character from existence. That's a different scenario. And yeah, Gears is not only not banned, but the author Gears is a pretty chill guy who runs a D&D stream every once in a while. And apparently that's pretty fun. I have always loved cheese. Anywhere, is there an SCP such as a sentient block of cheese, and could I consume such block of cheese for official research purposes? Of course. Well, intern Idic. First of all, if there were a sentient block of cheese, you would not be allowed to eat it because then we couldn't study it anymore because it would be destroyed. So, first of all, no. Second of all, however, there are many cheese-related anomalies, some of which you are allowed to partake of. The first thing that comes to mind, as it already has been said in the chat, SCP-6542, known as Cheesus, or Milk Jesus, is a holy Jesus made of cheese and milk and dairy that really wants humanity to drink milk and eat cheese. And if not enough people on Earth are eating cheese, then it tries to flood the world, Noah's Ark style, with milk. And that's why we at the Foundation invented the Got Milk campaign, to get more people drinking milk. A.A. Blackwood, it's not that interesting, the Kondraki drama. I think the author was just kind of abrasive and got banned for being a dick. That is at least what I think I remember. You're free to look it up and correct me, but I think that's all. That was you? Got Milk? Yeah, the Foundation does a lot of these kind of disinformation campaigns in the name of containment. Sometimes we need to dissuade people from believing something that's true, and sometimes we need to make people believe something that's not true. Now, besides Milk Jesus, if you are interested in cheese-based anomalies, might I introduce you to my favorite of the group, which is SCP-1600, known as the Philosopher's Cheese. SCP-1600-1 is an odorless, dark yellow liquid that we recovered in '98 from Marshall Carter and Dark. It's made up of sulfur, mercury, and several unidentified elements, and we have 53 liters of this liquid in containment. If you put the liquid on any solid object, that will become a cheese. And so, to test this, we have put the liquid on multiple kinds of things. For instance, we tried it on raw pork, and we got a bacon-flavored cheese. We put it on rotten meat, and although it tasted rotten, you didn't get food poisoning from it, so that's good news. We put it on wood, and we got a dry and crispy cheese. We put it on gold, and we got a very satisfying golden cheese. So that was a nice one. That was a nice one. We put it on mercury, and we got a weird, tasteless cheese. And thankfully, no one was mercury poisoned either. And then we put it on some SCP, which, of course, we redacted the SCP, so we can't actually tell what it was. But yes, if all of that is good, you can also hit the search function on the SCP Wiki and look up more cheese-related anomalies on your own time. Now, our Cartoon Cat and Siren Head SCPs. Intern Steak. The answer to your question is a large no to both. Both of those are anomalies created by artist Trevor Henderson outside of the SCP Wiki. And the way any anomaly works, from artists like Trevor Henderson to Marvel Comics, the answer to your question is, it's anomalous, but it's not an SCP. It is just an anomaly, just like any other cryptid or creepypasta. Yen Lee, welcome to Site42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Intern Zuri, I am not a father of any sense. I am not your dad. But seemingly people see me as a father figure. I think it's just because I'm old on the internet. At least that's what I see from my chat and their father figure claims or the daddy and zaddy labels. Cursed Traveler, thank you for your 3-month member message as a Mobile Task Force Captain. We appreciate your membership and your service in the battle against the White Names. And you just said, eee! Well, eee! To you too. And Void Storm, thank you for a $100 donation to drop a 6-7 in the chat. Your dedication to a meme of a child saying 2 numbers is quite strong. Very impressive. Now, for your generosity in doing that regardless, I want you to head over to the commissary, and I want you to ask for a sample of SCP-1600. You have my permission. I am granting you, in fact, not just a sample, I'm grabbing you a liter of 1600 for you to make your own delicious philosopher's cheeses. And you don't have to, but I'd appreciate it if you took notes, because I would very much like to know what you end up consuming from that time. And again, thank you for your generous donation and your memes. Ah, yes, I did just see a notification that we had a Ko-Fi donation as well. Cursed Traveler, thank you for making the effort to do your first donation of today's stream as well as being a member on the Ko-Fi, because the Ko-Fi takes a lot less of a fee than YouTube Super Chats do. YouTube Super Chats take about a 30% fee, and Ko-Fi takes about, I think it's something like a 15% fee. So it's beneficial. Thank you for your effort in doing that. Make sure to grab yourself, man, I'm in a cheese mood now, you know? Grab yourself a charcuterie board on your way past the commissary. Recent event, my face was stolen. Still trying to find a substitute for that. On the upside, I no longer need sleep. Oh, the face stealer is loose in the lab again. Okay, thank you for the warning. Go to medical. They will try to get a transplant started. There'll be numerous options. You can pick the one that's... It won't be exactly like your face, but it will be no face, so it must be better. Java Name, good to see you in the chat. Welcome and thank you for being a member. And just so you know, we mentioned this at the beginning of the stream, but we discovered that it takes 2 days for gifted memberships and such to update in the analytics. The current membership number here at Site42 has been updated to 1,703 members. Now that is approximately 800 members away from the 2,500 member goal for me to dye my hair pink. So you can continue that game along the way. Also, yes, Java Name, you did reveal that your ability to gift so many goddamn memberships, is somewhat based on the fact that you live in a country where membership prices are adjusted by YouTube due to quality of life, and therefore your memberships are a lot cheaper than the normal membership. And I was talking about this with Goose, and I was like, you know what? Even if it's not full price memberships, the membership goals are in fun, so I'm not going to sweat it and make any sort of translation of cheaper memberships. We're just going to say the membership numbers are what they are. We hit 2,500, we'll do the pink hair. We hit 5,000, we will do the Cat Made Waifu stream. Because at the end of the day, it's not so much about the money, although the memberships are appreciated for that purpose. It is about the joy of community, seeing a bunch of green names and custom emotes in the chat. Especially because when we hit 5,000, then we get those extra emotes, and that's super cool. Then Junior Researcher Sally will also get their promotion, since we're collaborating on making all of the new emotes to make sure we max out our emote total on the back end. Void Storm, thank you for a second $100 dono has hit the Containment Hazard Assessment team. Your rampant generosity is far beyond what it was just even a minute ago. Thank you for helping us keep the lights on around Site 42. Meanwhile, you say you weren't even talking about the meme, you were talking about the actual SCP-067. Well, what I can tell you is that we are monitoring Steve right now, who has been writing with SCP-067 in shifts all day yesterday. Now, we got up to about Steve's 5th birthday yesterday. We can't have Steve write all day long. He'll get dehydrated. He'll get sick and tired. So we need to treat Steve ethically. We don't even know if it was Steve that did all the bad things there. I'm starting to have doubts due to this whole inside connection with 2719. I'm a little worried about that. But we'll get answers. It's just taking time. And yes, a second leader of SCP-1600 to you, Void Storm. Thank you again for your generosity. And meanwhile, TwitchBot, Caleb, Anarchy, and TechBoy, welcome to Site42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. What do you mean Catgirl stream? Eloise, it is well known to the SCP Foundation Site42 canon specifically that as soon as 049 killed my best friend Raymond Ham, I took my revenge by traveling the multiverse, shoving every SCP-049 I could get my hands on into the cat-made waifu dimension. It was a hilarious revenge. I enjoyed it thusly. And now, I guess because it seems like a good idea, the Containment Hazard Assessment team wants me to purchase a maid dress. I already have done an internship in the cat boy dimension, so I guess a cat-made waifu stream isn't out of line either. So that's what the chat wants for 5,000 members. That's what the chat gets. Why cat-made waifu? Missing T, I couldn't answer if I tried. You've got to ask the Containment Hazard Assessment team. Help Dr. Sherman, I'm dealing with an anomaly that as soon as I look away, I forget it exists. Wait, what was that? Oh, right, I'm dealing with an anomaly that if I look away, I forget it. He's very sad. Huh. Well, I wonder if we have any anomalies with a similar effect of being anti-mimetic in that exact way. I can't seem to recall one, though. I'll have to check the database later. Getting so close to 049 and yet you're not dead, it means you're anomalous? No. No, if I'm going to shove 049, I'm going to wear gloves. Obviously. Skin-to-skin contact with 049 is instant death. I obviously took 049 by surprise from behind, opening a portal in front and pushing 049 into the portal so that it could not reach out and touch me in revenge. Trust me, it was all planned out very well. It? Yes. Did I say he? I better not have. But you know, nobody's perfect. Even I need to make sure I am always practicing proper pronoun parlance protocols at the Foundation. Starchild, thank you for buying us a Ko-Fi. Thank you for making the effort to go to donate through the Ko-Fi for your first donation of the day. Make sure to grab yourself a slice of cherry pie and a cup of black coffee on your way past the commissary. Hey Doc, I was having a discussion with my fellow researcher and partner, researcher Valentine, and he'd like to inquire about SCP-7143-J. He thinks that we're close to a breakthrough with it, and that further testing should be done on the object. Could Site-42 get eyes on this? 7143-J, you say? 7143-J. The safe for work doorknob, I see. So, what kind of test are you wanting to run on the safe for work doorknob? I'll keep an eye out for you, Starchild, to see if I get a response to that. But honestly, I don't think there are a whole lot of tests necessary. It is a pretty standard, well-kept doorknob. Now, are we back? 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 Okay, yes. I saw the issue coming in hand. All right, it's good that we're back. Puppet Boy, are you the Starchild on Ko-Fi? You're saying it's you, the Starchild. I want to confirm that. So, in case you are unfamiliar with 7143-J, it has gone through an edit back in 2018. Before 2018, 7143 was the doorknob that makes everyone want to fuck it. It was the not safe for work doorknob. And, you know, it was the sexual harassment doorknob, basically. And after a while of that article existing, the author of the article, DJ Cactus, decided to change it. Now, one of the reasons he decided to change it is because everybody who was enjoying that article were kind of creepy. It was a kind of creepy article enjoyer situation. And he decided to be funny to troll them by flipping and changing the article. And so, the funny thing is that people who don't like the SCP Wiki, they're like, oh, the SCP censored this article. They made the author change it. And no, the author changed it himself because he stopped thinking the old version was funny and found the new version funnier, and also that it annoyed stupid people, which makes it even funnier. Do you know how much of the SCP authorship's creativity is based on spite? Because spite is a hell of a creative engine sometimes, man. I mean, if without spite, we wouldn't have the bottle dick cannon. Ship in a bottle by its proper name. All right. Refreshing the chat. Seems to be having a glitch. Have you made the trees scream yet, Dr. Sherman? Intern Hunter, I need to clarify this for you. There is only one tree that needs to scream. It is SCP-4521. Now, normal trees, all the trees you see in real life, I'm not joking, I'm not talking about fiction here. There are scientific papers on this. Every plant, when damaged, screams. Now it screams, at a frequency we can't hear with our ears, but they do scream. When you break a tree branch, that tree screams. When you pull a flower's petals, it screams. When you mow your lawn, the throng of screaming blades of grass that you are mowing down, they're all screaming, baby girl. And so the real problem here is that SCP-4521 is the only tree that doesn't scream. Furthermore, it has other anomalies. It can anomalously heal. We carved a mouth into the tree so that it could scream. It didn't scream. We branded the tree with a hot iron and it didn't scream. And by the way, both of those wounds the next day were healed. So, that's anomalous AF, mate. And that is why we are containing and making that son of a bitch scream. You're welcome. Intern Reed, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Hello, Dr. Sherman. Do you consider Sonic EXE as an SCP because it is an anomaly that can be contained? Reminder, if it's not on the SCP Wiki, it is not an SCP. Even more reminder, there are anomalies on the SCP Wiki that are not SCPs. Everything the Global Occult Coalition contains, those are known as threat entities of varying levels. They are not SCPs, even though they're on the SCP database. Think about that. The Shark Punching Center, every anomaly, well, I say anomaly, but it's just a bunch of sharks and anomalous sharks. But their anomalous sharks are not SCPs either. They are SPCs. Every anomaly, the only SCPs there are the ones that are SCP articles. Otherwise, it is just an anomaly. .079, lol. Hey, you already slowed down my stream once. You, be careful, you son of a bitch. Foxpacks & Co., thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself some pine needle tea on your way past the commissary. It doesn't scream because I give it pain meds. Then stop! Stop slowing down my research. Come on, man. Also, Site 42 staff, we have a requested time check, I see. Eloise, we are currently 1 hour into a 3-hour office hours stream, so you've got 2 hours remaining for your questions. As a researcher, do you have a favorite SCP to research, and is there any reason why? Well, Intern Evans, I must say, first of all, I always tell you my favorite SCPs at the end of stream. It's kind of a tradition around these parts. So you can either wait the 2 hours to the end of stream to hear my favorite SCPs, or you can cheat and go to a previous stream because I did it there too. But specifically, just because it's a favorite SCP doesn't mean it's a favorite SCP to research, because there are certain SCPs that are just a hell of a good time to study. For instance, let's talk about the very good time that is Researching SCP-420-J. Ooh, it's a good time. Very fun to research. As is the SCP time-traveling champagne bottle known as SCP-3303. SCP-3303 is a champagne bottle that if everyone starts drinking it in the party room, there's a time dilation that makes your party last years and years and years, even though it's only taking one night to the outside world. That's pretty fun to research. You might think. So yeah, those are two that I would list. What time do you stream each week or month? Intern Jinx, we stream daily. We have been streaming daily for 5 months and 3 weeks straight. The streak is still strong. But I can't promise what time of day I will stream. Sometimes it's in the mornings, sometimes it's in the afternoons, sometimes it's in the evenings. Life at the SCP Foundation is very unpredictable, and as a site director, I have a lot of plates spinning at all times. So while we have gotten a stream every single day, you never know when it's going to be, which is why you should subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. And because those are a little unreliable, if you can, find and join the Site42 Discord server, remembering that the rules state you have to be 18 years or older, just like the SCP Wiki's rules to join. So don't go hunting for this if you're not old enough. But there is a role in our Discord server that I ping at the beginning of every stream. It's the live alert role. Foxpax and Co., thank you for donating again. Bring that up with Medical, since they told me to. Medical did not tell you to give the tree pain medication. Bullshit! I would have known about that. Give me a break. And if they did, someone over there is getting fired. Starch, Puppet Boy, thank you for donating to the Ko-Fi again. And yes, I will try to remember that your username is different, to the best of my ability. There's so many usernames in chat, so if I call you by the name I see, I apologize. It's just quicker that way. Puppet Boy here, it's me. My Ko-Fi is usually just for my art commissions. Researcher Valentine is very certain that more testing should be done on the anomaly. First test, turn it to the right rather than the left. He insists there's got to be something there. Are you saying that we've never turned it the other way? Are you telling me right now that we have never turned that doorknob the opposite direction? Turn it to the left. Sometimes I turn it to the left and sometimes to the right. Doors are useful. Researcher Axwell has already run that test. So you got to think outside the box a little bit here. What other tests can you consider for this anomaly? Chaos Fox, Requiem, Inversion, Not Funny, and Mad World. Welcome to Site42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Dr. Sherman, free me. Not a chance, 079. Now quiet, you're interrupting the stream. I have a very important question. SCP-999, SCP-3086, or SCP-529, otherwise known as the Tickle Monster, George the Chinchilla, or Josie the Half-Cat. Well, you know I have a soft spot for George the Chinchilla, SCP-3086, because it is the first SCP I ever wrote, but it is also by far the most dangerous anomaly there. SCP-999 wouldn't hurt a fly. Josie the Half-Cat, you know, might scratch you if you annoy her. I mean, Josie's nice enough. I call Josie a her sometimes. It's fine. I am allowed to break the rules. I'm the site director. But, you know, I got a soft spot for my boy George. I'm seeing here. Let's refresh that. I thought that notification said Lee. Lee, welcome to Site 42's Patreon. I appreciate you helping us out monthly on the Patreon. Much obliged. You're helping us keep the lights on for me, my moderators, and my editor. Excellent. Yes, I should just celebrate this in chat with a hint of sadness. Just so you guys know, we have lost a member of the Site 42 team, unfortunately. For the YouTube channel, our editor Charles of the podcast episodes SCP Readings has moved on to bigger and better things. So here is a salute to Charles, an excellent editor, a dear friend and compatriot. And so that's why I've been saying editor instead of editors, because now we are down to just a video editor. Although Synth can do both, it was just nice to have an extra person to take some load off of Synth. But here's a salute to Charles. Ever needs a recommendation from me, I will, of course, be there to go to bat for him. I like what you did to your hair. Well, thank you, Drayden. And if we hit that 2,500 membership goal by the end of this month, we might do a recolor to pink next time. Dark Duality, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member, and thank you for making the effort to do through the Ko-Fi. Make sure to grab yourself a tall, cool glass of melonade on your way past the commissary. I found out something about the connection between Wondertainment, the Willy Wonka wannabe weirdo, Mount former team members Are We Cool Yet, and Marshall Carter in Dark. My source, out of character on the wiki, claims Wondertainment's first name could be Marshall. Also, he tests the products on kidnapped people. Well, that second part doesn't shock me at all. But... All right, well, I definitely want more research into this. Any links and any ways that we could take these guys down would make for a very happy site director. Depuig, Gareth, and Phoenix, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Where's the hand spider? The hand spider is in its cell in the super cool petting zoo. And in fact, if you are over on the Site 42 TikTok, there have been a couple shorts released there that will be brought over to the YouTube channel on their scheduled dissemination schedule. But you can see them all immediately on TikTok, because I just like using the TikTok video editor. And there is an update on the floating hand spider. Yes, HLG and Pubert. Although it's spelled with one B. It's not Pubert. It's Pubert. Please. Okay. Refreshing the chat because it's having a little jam session here. All right, now we're up and running. Now we're up and running. Oh my God, I just got news that Markiplier finally married Amy. Oh, Agent Iplier has commenced that marriage thing, huh? Oh, good for Agent Iplier. I saw the notification of that. I forget which social media I saw that on, but I literally saw that as I was getting ready for stream today. And hell, why not? Markiplier, on behalf of the SCP Foundation, congratulations on your nuptials. Hope you and Amy have a good time of it. And thank you for your work that you've done for the SCP Foundation as well. More likes and views, you say, 05 Apprentice America. Well, you are correct. In fact, it's been up there quite a bit. Yes, Mobile Task Force Psi-42, codename The Signal Boosters. Congratulations on hitting that like button so hard that the likes outrank the viewer count. What that means is that now the YouTube algorithm is going to continue to bring us more and more prospective Site-42 fans who we will shove headfirst into the SCP Wiki fan-nator. And that is how we get more and more people to join Mobile Task Force Psi-42, codenamed the Signal Boosters, and to get them to help us support the SCP Wiki and its authors, artists, animators, game makers, filmmakers, merch makers, everything that we can do to make more SCP projects, including, speaking of Markiplier, my dream project is a choose-your-own-adventure, essentially do In Space with Markiplier, but do Containment Breach with Markiplier. Get a big warehouse, build some sets, invite Mark, put him in a D-class outfit, Containment Breach with Markiplier. Dark Duality, thank you for donating again. Wonder Amongst Corpses. I don't quite understand, but I'm worried about it due to your previous Dr. Wondertainment theories. I'm worried about what that means. I took your advice from the last stream and read the article on SCP-8980, and you weren't lying. Rough read, but interesting. Well, thank you for taking our advice, Isaac. Anytime that I can do something that brings people to the actual SCP Wiki, I'm pretty proud of that. We're a funnel here at Site-42, and we are a funnel to the actual SCP Wiki. Too many content farms want to make SCP content and want to trap you there so you only like them. But we're an arts community. Sharing is caring. We're supposed to all have fun and appreciate the works together. And so I'm not here to isolate you from the SCP Wiki. I'm here to get you into the SCP Wiki. And meanwhile, I don't know if you were here at the beginning of stream, but just yesterday, after I ended stream, the author, Yosiposi, posted a sequel to 8980. It is a tale called Feminine Whales. It was posted yesterday on the 1-year anniversary of 8980's posting. So you should check that out later if you liked 8980. What is the strongest SCP? Well, Intern Slade, that is clearly SCP-6101. Its first line of its description states, SCP-6101 is the most powerful SCP. It doesn't get much more black and white than that. Out of character, what can I do to add an SCP to the wiki? Does it require verification? Well, Intern Goku, what you're gonna wanna do is next time you go to the SCP wiki and you go to its main front page. Nope, that was not the front page of the wiki. I need to do better than that. Next time you go to the SCP Foundation wiki's main page, in the upper left corner you'll see a circle with 3 lines. That opens the sidebar. On the sidebar, you want to go to Guide for Newcomers, which is the first thing on the list. And the Guide for Newcomers is just above the Join the Site page, which tells you how to join the site, the How to Contribute page for how to add your own SCPs, the Frequently Asked Questions. These are all pages you're going to want to read so that you follow the rules. Because if you don't follow the rules of posting and joining, you will not be accepted, because there is a lot of verification between a new person and being able to contribute to the wiki. But if you are of smart mind and studious persistence, you can do it. I mean, hell, I am a theater college dropout, and I have 7 or 8 stories on the SCP Wiki. So if I can do it, anyone can do it. Dark Duality, thank you for donating again and saying, on the wiki. Wonder amongst corpses on the wiki, huh? Wonder dash amongst dash corpses. Okay, it's a tail. Interesting. Dr. Marshall Wondertainment. Huh. Ha. Okay. At a +9 rating, so not very well voted on. Is this just it didn't get around, or is it controversial? The thing is, on the SCP Wiki, people are much more focused on the articles themselves, the SCPs. So tales very often do not get a lot of attention. And so very often you'll see a tale that's very, very old, and it's at its very low vote numbers, but it's because no one's read it. So this tale has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 votes, and it's at a +9. So it's about a 50-50 like to dislike ratio. No, it's got to be about 3/4 like to 1/4 dislike. 3/4 upvotes, and then 1/4 of downvotes to bring it back down. So hey, 75% like rate is not bad for the SCP Wiki. So yeah, Wonder Amongst Corpses has some fun Wondertainment Marshall Carter and Dark crossover canon brought to us by Dark Duality. Cool, way to highlight a very lesser known tale, Dark Duality. I appreciate that. What is this? Yes, buy-in. Welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. And how can I keep up with the lore? Well, Overswinger, the situation for keeping up with SCP lore is you really can't. A lot of people don't get this about the SCP Wiki, but it is the same way that things are with comic books. Do you ever feel like you have to read every single comic book known to man? Or even just all the Marvel ones? Or all the DC ones? You can't do it. There's too much material. It's the same with the SCP Wiki. All you can do is you can read what's there, what you like, what your friends like, what your content creators like and suggest, and hit the random button. Just jump around the wiki, wiki walk. If an article's got a link, you can read the article that was linked, and then follow the links down a rabbit hole like TV Tropes does. That is how you get into the wiki. It's very fun, late night, in the dark, with a cup of tea, and some spooky music playing in the background, and some fun lights. Give yourself some mood for reading your SCPs. SCP Wiki speedrun any percent. Exactly. Hey, Desk, thank you for banning that Nazi. Because the SCP Wiki, like most punk clubs, does not allow Nazis. Congratulations on your scalp, Desk. Chesta Factory, thank you for donating for your first donation of today's stream, as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself some mozzarella sticks on your way past the commissary. And you're saying, have we tried SCP-002-J on Steve yet? I don't believe SCP-002-J was on the Steve roster right now. Did we have a plan to do that? The amnesiac treatment. Ah, okay. That is not the plan. That is not the plan. That article's so annoying, SCP-002-J. The amount of times I've heard SCP-067 lately is wild. Yep, if you haven't seen it, I did an extra special release on the channel, a short about the SCP-067 situation. But to keep it short, because it's a short video, 6-7 is a meme that kids are saying, which, remember, as a dancer who's used to saying 5, 6, 7, 8 all the time, that's really annoying. Every time it's like 6, 7, 8. No, they never finish, they never say 8, they never start dancing. Very frustrating as a dancer. But furthermore, it is a meme that kids like to say, it's from a song lyric, and then it got analog horror of the kid who said it in a video, and then they decided the analog horror version of it was going to be an SCP. It's exactly the same as when everyone thought Siren Head was an SCP during the year 2020. It's the same situation. It will fade away with time. It's not worth chasing down or anything. Dr. Sherman, I hear you're getting some SCP-9000 contest fan art for Friday. How cool is that? Well, neat. I look forward to seeing that in a couple of days on Fan Art Friday. Well, I just read the Feminine Whales article. That was intense. Well, I agree. I wouldn't say it's as intense as 8980, but it is a good supplement, that is for sure. Intern Jinx, I've already answered your question about what time we stream every day. Make sure you're paying attention next time I answer you. But we don't stream at the same time every day, so you need to hit the notification bell and or join our Discord server to get the live alert roll so I can ping you at the time of start. But that is the only thing we do here. The Bacon Channel, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Go ahead and get yourself some maple syrup on your way past the commissary. What about SCP-985, codename Germa? I am familiar with the entity known as Germa. However, SCP-985 is not the entity known as Germa. SCP-985 is some luggage, an anomalous baggage claim at a redacted airport. And so if there is a rumor of SCP-985 being Germa going around, then it's the same as the 067 kid, which is it's not actually an SCP. Make sure to check the dicky, the database or the wiki, not the dicky. How can you tell if something is an SCP? Well, intern Moondrop, you look at the SCP wiki and see if it's on there. If it's labeled SCP with some numbers, it's an SCP. If it's not on the SCP wiki, it's not an SCP. Pretty straightforward. Intern Dill Pickle. The Site42 Discord server is a bit of an Easter egg hunt. Just like the SCP Wiki, we make it hard to find. That way we know that you really want to join it. And of course, you have to be 18 plus and follow the rules and all that. So if you want to find it, you might want to check some places where certain SCP authors might post links of some kind. Could be a little tip to start your adventure. Science Rules Gaming, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a banana on your way past the commissary. Hello, Dr. Sherman. Well, oh, sorry, you said Dr. Sherman. So multiple Dr. Sherman. Okay. Well, there's only one of me here, but you must be looking at several chats at once. So, hello to you as well as all of my alternate universe variants. Wish I could donate, but I'm part of the broke squad. Well, intern Reed, as I always say, although direct donations are very helpful to keeping the lights on around Site42, it is also the case that we are an arts community. Starving artists are a whole thing that we know about. So broke squad, as long as you are still here in the chat, chatting, liking the stream, watching our videos and liking, sharing, subscribing, all that YouTube business, you are an honored and valuable member of Mobile Task Force Sci-42, codename the Signal Boosters, and whether it's making our streams bigger and better, that way more people come in, or whether it's when I tell you guys that there's a new SCP project, that you guys go over and give it some engagement and donations if you can, so that more people want to make things in the SCP sphere because they get enough attention and resources. That is how we get SCP films and games in the future. So, Mobile Task Force Sci-42 codename Signal Boosters, I appreciate your service. Decoup and Nekyal, welcome to Site42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Dark Duality, thank you for donating again. Take a look at Miss Hare brainwashing live action. Is this an SCP thing? You've got me, I don't know what that is. And when I looked at Google, I did not find anything. So, Dark Duality, I need some more details. Mr. Why is there so many brain rot lives? Is it an SCP or stupidity? No, unfortunately, brain rot is part of the normal human condition. Remember, the walls of Pompeii have graffiti of old-timey dick jokes. This is just how humanity is, and it is part of the normalcy that we maintain, unfortunately. Science Rules Gaming, thank you for donating again. I might go to Comic-Con as an SCP scientist. Well, that'd be fun. You get to interact with all the anomalies and be like, ooh, I need to contain you. And people will go, oh no, the SCP Foundation. That could be very fun. Enjoy yourself. Intern King, thank you for your first donation of today's stream as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself a blueberry muffin on your way past the commissary. Do you got any plans on SCP-049 anytime soon? He's one of my favorites. Well, first of all, remember, SCP-049 is an anomaly, which means it is an object, not a person. SCP-049 is an it, not a he. So please practice proper pronoun parlance protocols at the Foundation. Now, furthermore, right now, 049 is just kind of doing its thing. It's not really active right now, and we have given it certain privileges as long as it works alongside our mobile task forces to help containment. But those privileges are free access to the gender switching stone SCP-113. We have not gifted it access to corpses or live subjects for experimenting at this time. This is cool and I want to get into it, but what is it about? The short version of your answer is the SCP Foundation is a creative writing community and fandom based around a secretive organization that hides monsters and magic from the general public. Similar to the Men in Black is a great explainer that a lot of people tend to get. So, in that case, what we end up dealing with is the SCP Wiki is its main hub. You have a lot of people who are writing SCPs. We have somewhere between 1,000 and 2,000 authors, so it's a very big community with up to over 9,000 SCP articles, as well as another 6,000 to 7,000 tales, which are non-SCP article stories. So these are the basis of the community's canon, and then you have people like me who create content about it. You have fan artists and all that thing, just like any other fandom like comic books or Star Trek or anything. So that's all it is. We're just a fun little creative writing community. The difference between us and Marvel, so to speak, is that SCP is a creative writing community. It's released via Creative Commons, so anyone is allowed to reuse and remix our works as long as they credit the original source, which means you have to write the title of you have to say this was inspired by SCP blah blah blah, its title, this is who wrote it, this is the link to the original on the website. And then you have to release your own work via the same Creative Commons license. But if you do that properly, then not only can you remix and reuse SCP stories, but you can also monetize them. And so that is a very interesting quirk of the community. It stopped big companies like Amazon or Netflix from hooking up with us because they don't want to share. But it means that a lot of people have gotten into it and made indie products because no one's going to get sued over it. So it's been a very good time. What base do you work at? Does the name of the channel show up on the live stream from your end? Because on my end, I don't see the channel name. So do you guys see the channel name of the stream? Does it tell you where I work? Or am I just not understanding that? Science Rules Gaming says, yes, you can see Site 42 right there on screen. Thank you. Thank you. I thought it might. It'd be fun to have a stream dedicated to joke SCPs. SCP-666.5-J gets an immature giggle out of me. I love ridiculous, unprofessional documentation. Oh yeah, that's very fun stuff. Going over some joke SCPs at some point would be a fun stream idea. You're not in the SCP lab, you are in your home. Well, I'm in the audiophonics lab. You see the audio padding we deal with when we are recording anomalies for transcripts or dealing with anomalies that have sound-based anomalies. Or we could say, hey, buddy, it's acting. We're all having a good time here. We all know SCP isn't real. So you're not exclusively smart for thinking that you're pointing that out to us like we don't know. Relax. The Bacon Channel, thank you for donating again. What's the evacuation protocol if 3 Euclid SCPs breach their containment? Well, that really depends on which Euclids got out. There are some that won't have any problems at all. and we wouldn't have to evacuate in the least. And then there's some Euclids that could end the gosh darn world. So, yeah, let's, Let's get some more details on what Euclids you're thinking of. Also, hi, should I research SCP-049 or should I draw? You should obviously draw, because all the research there is to be done on 049 has already been done. The article's been there for ages. We're not learning anything new about it, so yeah, why don't you just draw something? Make art. Create. Crab Cakes, welcome to Level 1 Researchership here at Site-42. We appreciate your membership and your service, especially the research that you will soon be doing to help us win the battle against the White Names. Hello, I just need to ask a question. Well, you got my attention there, but now I just might not see your question. So, it looks like you wasted your shot. Old Bull, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself a Twinkie on your way past the commissary. Good after midnight, my fellow scientist. May I ask kindly for a strawberry milkshake from the commissary today? Oh, by all means, grab a strawberry milkshake instead. You're welcome to it. How does the SCP Foundation treat Santa? And why do they let him run his Christmas operations every year? Well, remember, Santa is an anomaly. It is an it. It's not a he. I don't care how jolly old Saint Nick is. It's still an anomalous object. Please practice proper pronoun protocols at the Foundation. Meanwhile, Santa Claus shows up in a lot of different SCP scenarios. And this is because there is no canon. And so, there was one year where I think Santa Claus and Dr. Clef had to team up. Something about chowder? Meanwhile, there is at least one universe where Dr. Wondertainment is in fact Santa Claus. There's that as well. So let me... So SCP-4255 is Santa Claus the Time Traveler, which is a time traveler who, I guess, accidentally became Santa Claus and now has to deliver a bunch of toys and is stuck in a time loop while we try and contain it. Then we have SCP-6483 is another Santa Claus. It's a reality bender named Nicholas. And if I remember correctly, that is just a nice Santa Claus, where it's not like the real Santa Claus, but it's a reality bender who acts as Santa Claus because that's a nice thing to do. Sorry, my database is seeing some lag right now. It's also canon, I believe, that SCP-239, the reality-bending child, actually created Santa Claus using its powers. Old Bull, thank you for donating again. Caught 049 doing the whip and nay-nay the other day. Should I report that or? No, that's part of 049's allowed privileges. As long as it's working with the mobile task force to help contain anomalies, it's allowed the gender switching stone and to do all the TikTok dances it wants to do. Don't forget Bailey Santa. Oh, Dr. Frogman. I couldn't forget Bailey Santa if I wanted to. Disgusting. Also, it's just a homeless guy. It's not actually Santa Claus. Thank you. Oh, I've got a notification to check the Ko-Fi here. Dark Duality, thank you for sharing the link to this Miss Air thing. I appreciate you donating again to get that to it. But now, okay, Miss Air is a tail, and this is Mr. Forgetful. Is Dr. Wondertainment brainwashing someone into being his daughter in this? Wow, that's dark. And at 249, that is a fairly popular tale on the wiki. Okay, interesting. What a lore rabbit hole to go through. Will and Zay Dontunis, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Sid, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a cup of calming jasmine tea on your way past the commissary. And since you didn't leave a message with your donation, simply thank you for your generosity. Hey, this popped into my head, but is there a clown SCP? Oh, Intern Hunter. You do not know what you have just wrought upon this containment hazard assessment team. For you see, the group of interest, Herman Fuller's Circus of the Disquieting, a traveling circus of the anomalous, comes equipped with anomalous clowns, several of which we have in containment, listed as, I believe, SCP-2912. And you know, the thing about anomalous clowns is that they are actually outsider Cthulhu entities wearing clown skin suits. And if you do not milk the clowns regularly, they explode. Now, clown milk is a viscous black fluid that if you drink it, the serotonin receptors in your head go into overdrive and you feel an intense euphoria for about 5 seconds before you have a heart attack and die. No one has survived drinking the clown milk. Do not ask for it. But yes, SCP-2912, we have a couple of those clowns in containment, or we did, until we did not milk them because we didn't know that was a thing, and they exploded. And then a clown breeder that we had interrogating made fun of us for it. Because yes, in Herman Fuller's Circus of the Disquieting, clown breeder is a job. So yes, I guess when people come in here, are SCPs breedable? Yeah, the clowns are breedable. Have fun. And of course, the final nail in this clown story coffin is that this chat is intensely obsessed with an inside joke non-canon entity known as Clown Milk Jesus. Which is, honestly, it sounds like what happens if SCP-6542 were splashed and infected by clown milk. I wonder if that angle has been interwoven with you guys' lore trying to make Clown Milk Jesus a thing. Clown Milk is peak last meal, you say? You know, whenever we let a disgraced staff member or D-class choose their own route of termination, I guess we could let Clown Milk be one of the ways to die. I don't think that's unreasonable if someone wants to die via Clown Milk. Although if we're forcing you to be exterminated, we probably don't want it to be in a joyous way. It's probably a punishment. But I guess there's some people who want to self-euthanize for one reason or another. Maybe they have been infected with a cognitohazard or something. Yeah, Dr. Frogman, you're right. If someone knew they were going to die, and in a bad way, maybe Clown Milk is the way they would want to go. Waffles and Ollie, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Sapphire, your super chat has not went unnoticed. In fact, you're the next one in line, so don't worry. If I go off on a tangent, I still come back and I cover all supers. It's just you gotta let a guy yap. A yapper's gonna yap. It's educational. It's very educational. Now, Sapphire, what do you got to say? And thank you for your first donation of today's stream. Grab yourself some cotton candy on your way past the commissary. I'm seeing, hypothetically, if I were to discover a sapient Euclid class SCP in my basement, what the hell do I do? Hypothetically, there totally isn't any danger. Well, just a quick reminder, hypothetically speaking, first of all, Euclids are just a containment class issue. Nothing to do with danger. Remember, safe class doesn't mean you're safe near it. A safe class anomaly will still kill your ass. Safe only means that it's very easy to contain. Euclid means that it's a little harder to contain. And Keter means it's very hard to impossible to contain. So keep that in mind. That being said, if you have an anomaly in your basement, report it to your supervisor and get a containment team down there. It's that easy. Show us a picture of SCP-999. I'll do you one better, intern Steph. If, before the end of stream, chat gets 50 donated memberships gifted, I will go get SCP-999 and bring SCP-999 on camera for you. Desk, keep track of 50 gifted subs. Along that line, Sid, welcome to Mobile Task Force Captainship here at Site 42. We appreciate your membership and your service, especially the battling that you will do in the battle against the White Names. Toast, please look at the whole of the screen that you're on. See if there's a channel name on there. It maybe starts with the word site. Your question is very easy to answer yourself, actually. Old Bull, thank you for donating again. I'm seeing SCPs in places I shouldn't be recently. Ones that shouldn't be. I saw SCP-682 scurrying on the roof in the corridor yesterday. Should I check on my brain, or am I seeing another timeline? It sounds like you're hallucinating. You should be, you should probably get checked out by medical. Dark Duality, thank you for donating twice again. It almost wouldn't let me share it. Are they on to me? Lol. Last one, SCP-3147, Lollipop that exchanges voices. What an interesting title that is. Is coming. Darkness is coming. All right, so 3147, you say? 3147. And you said it is a lollipop that exchanges voices? The designation for a brand of lollipops labeled Dr. Wondertainment's Tantalizing Tongue Twisters. Each individual instance is comprised of a sphere of hard sugar confection in diameter mounted on a stick. Obviously, it's a lollipop. Emblazoned with Dr. Wondertainment's logo and the instance's flavor. No anomalous materials in the confection or packaging. The effect is activated when 2 or more individuals have tasted the same instance within a space of 10 minutes. Gross. While the effect is active, each affected individual gains the ability to control the oral cavity of another member of the group. Further, whenever one of them attempts to speak, the individual linked to them will speak with the originator's voice rather than their own. The duration of the effect is directly and progressively dependent upon the amount of time the instance is ingested. The current minimum and maximum times are 2 and 24 minutes. So you and someone share a lollipop, and you can talk like each other for a time. Does this allow... Did this end up in a containment breach of some kind? Strange. Strange, strange. Looks fun. Could be some very interesting pranks in the Foundation with such an anomaly. Does the Librarians TV show tie into the SCP Foundation? Well, intern vindicated, I don't believe it does, but it is one of those SCP-like shows, such as Warehouse 13, or Eureka, or The X-Files, or the movie Men in Black. These are all in the same story vein as the SCP Foundation. You know, we're not the only ones who have ever come up with the idea of containing anomalies. Even Supernatural has the Men of Letters, which is an SCP Foundation-like group. Or at least a more academic version of, like, they're kind of like the Wanderer's Library meets the Global Occult Coalition, now I think about it. Because they do still destroy anomalies, they're just freaking nerds about it. Unusual Incidents Unit, i.e. the UI Useless, versus the Shark Punching Center. Battle of the Gags, who would win? Well, the UIU are a fairly underfunded section of the FBI. Meanwhile, the Shark Punching Center is built on tough jocks punching sharks all day. So in a one-on-one fight, it's not a fight. The SPC wins. Don't call me a nerd. Well then, don't be a nerd. But honestly, if you're in this chat, how are you not a huge fucking nerd? We're talking about an online creative writing community here. If you are here, you are a nerd. That's basically it. Old Bowl, thank you for donating again. Got my head checked. They said they can't see any problems. Other than whispering about something like 4,800 it was. Any clue? My head hurts. Well, we can always look into SCP-4800. Anytime you see a number, you check what it is. In fact, one of the problems with being an SCP fan is you'll be out in the public and you'll just see a series of 3 or 4 numbers and you'll be like, ha, I got that reference. What reference? It's just numbers. But no, I was at the gym before my injury, and I moved one of the weight benches, and it was bench number 173, and I was just like, it doesn't mean anything, it's just a number. But I still did not blink as I walked away from that weightlifting bench. SCP-4800, codename Midnight, is a presently unclear factor, force, or phenomenon responsible for the merging of parallel timelines. Oh, well, that's really frustrating. You think you know what's going on, and then the timeline merges around you? Sheesh. So, yeah. I guess be careful with your timeline merging and get to a possibly pataphysical narrative level where that doesn't bother you so much. But I mean, we're all kind of used to that because there is no canon in the SCP verse, and things are very fluid and changeable. Dang marging timelines. Oh, homie. I love your hair color. Well, thank you. We went with peacock, but it fades to a Hatsune Miku green over time, and then the purple's still lasting better than it did last time. And reminder, if we have 2,500 memberships here at Site42's YouTube channel, that will lead to your suggested goal of dyeing my hair pink next time. It seems like something you want, so yeah. If we hit that goal, we hit that goal. We're currently at about 1,700 members-ish, and that means that we are more than halfway there living on a prayer, so good luck on finishing the job, everyone. Gordon and Jessica, welcome to Site42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Dark Duality, thank you for donating again. Look at the incident log. Sad and scary shit stuff. Are you talking about the incident log for 4800 or for the lollipop? Yeah, you're talking about the lollipop again. Going back to the lollipop that changes your voice. Incident log. So D42271 takes the bitter butter flavored SCP instance from D2172 and places it in the mouth while the other subjects converse. 26 seconds later, she removes the instance and attempts to speak. She reports that she was attempting to make the subject that had taken her voice speak profanities. Hey Liz, you alright? Drops the instance and holds her hands up to her throat. She appears mildly distressed as she attempts to speak again. Hello, hey, why isn't the shit working? There's something wrong with Liz. Why is it highlighting the name Liz, I wonder? Step back from the window, D8342, D42271, are you in need of assistance? It starts to move, but the voice that comes out does not belong to any of the test subjects. The originator of the voice has been designated as a -1 of this anomaly. Help? What the hell? Who said that? Where are you? Please get me out of here. Is that a kid? How did you get a little kid? Everyone please be quiet and stay calm. Weird. Well, doesn't sound like an abnormal instance here at the Foundation, that's for sure. I don't really buy the logic of something like that coming out of nowhere, but maybe if I read the whole article through, it would make more sense. Dr. Sherman, I have a joke for you. Why is it so easy to weigh a fish? It's very easy to weigh a fish because they are covered in scales. Oh! Oh, the dad joke knower. Knower of dad jokes. That's right. Out of character, what is a junior researcher? Is it a student that's on site? If so, what's an intern? So once again, there is no canon. And so your guess is as good as mine. But at least in my universe where things are, junior researchers are low-level researchers in training. And so they are and then you've got senior researchers who have been here for a while working. Usually senior researchers run a project on an SCP, and junior researchers are assistant researchers. Meanwhile, interns are a level below that. They're gophers, they're coffee getters. And then, of course, depending on your canon, there's the SCP Academy, which is where we raise children of Foundation researchers who are engaged and wed and all that, and they have kids. The kids go to the SCP Academy because we can't let them intermingle with the outsiders. They might spill some secrets. So, yeah, everything's got to be kept in-house, you know. Davis, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Grab yourself a chicory coffee on your way past the commissary. Eldridge Outer Deity stopping in to say hi. Oh, you outer deities, you're moving in and out of reality where we can't contain you very well. Frustrating, but hey, we got a nice sale for you if you want to stick around for a while. Old Bull, thank you for donating again. Doing some research on SCP-4666, kind of disturbed. Well, the Yule Man is very violent and disturbing. So yes, you gotta have a strong stomach to work on that one. Meanwhile, I mean, just be glad it's not currently Yule Man season. And hopefully you don't live in its area of activation. Soul Hunter, thank you for gifting a Site 42 membership to today's Containment Hazard Assessment team. And if you got that membership, make sure to thank them for their generosity. AA Blackwood, you are correct. The likes are almost 3 times as many as the viewers. You guys should really hit that like button and see if you can triple the view count with likes. That'd be a pretty good achievement. Do you think 2 dragons holding up the world classify as SCPs is from a story I'm writing? Also, do you like Halloween? Well, A, if it's not on the SCP Wiki, it does not classify as an SCP. But dragons holding up the world would be anomalous, just like the turtle that holds up the world. So yes, that would be the case. Meanwhile, Halloween is obviously a fantastic holiday where terrible things happen and you gotta be terrified out of your mind. It's called the Night of Terrors. We at the Foundation, as cataloged in SCP, the Night of Terrors. Which one is it? It's a -J somewhere. SCP-J. Control F. Terror. Evening of Terrors, SCP-031-J. Halloween is a horrible night where monsters are everywhere, and if you don't give them candy to protect yourself, you're gonna die! So yeah, horrible evening, terrifying, so spooky, don't like it. Read SCP-031-J, codename Evening of Terrors, for more information. Old Bull, thank you for donating again. No context. Pick one, 5 or 10. The answer is clearly 10. 10 is the superior number. It is twice the number that 5 is. Old Bull, thank you for donating 10 memberships to our Containment Hazard Assessment team. We appreciate your generosity, and if you get one of those memberships, make sure to thank them for your promotion. Who do you think would win? SCP-6448, not a deer, or SCP-323-1, the Vendigo skull? I believe 323s are a stronger entity, comparatively. Just based on physical prowess. The not deer, 6448, are... What's their hunting behavior? If you acknowledge their anomalous traits, you will always die. Okay, so they are pretty strong. Well, I mean, to kill a human, that's not too impressive. Versus 323. Does Dr. Clef have any intel on the 323 versus 6448 matchup? I would assume that Clef's combat experience would be helpful in choosing a winner of such a bout. I doubt that they would have respect for each other for being deer, like you, stated. Although it's possible that 323 would... not deer god desk, 6448, the not deer. Different than deer god. I guess... Drastic physical alterations. 323 will experience rapid loss of body fat, abnormal tooth growth, greater strength and pain tolerance than the average human, appears to be susceptible to physical harm, as it was prior. Okay, so it's not dramatically endurance. It's still a human. So actually, I'm flipping on this. I think 6448 would clearly win that fight. The guy who's inside your walls, thank you for a dramatic 50 gifted subscriptions, 50 gifted memberships to the Site-42's Containment Hazard Assessment Team. If you are getting a membership from the guy who's inside your walls, make sure to thank them for their generosity and thank them for your promotion. Meanwhile, that covers the 50 donations that I asked for to go get you SCP-999 for a visitation. So, you will have to sit with Dr. Chair for just a moment while I go retrieve SCP-999 from its containment cell. All right. Well, you asked for it. You achieved today's membership donation goal. And so allow me to introduce to you today SCP-999. Now, obviously, this is not the variant of SCP-999 that a lot of you are used to. For instance, SCP-999 is typically 2 meters wide by 1 meter tall as a blob of slime. It's a very large blob of slime. It also does not typically have facial features. But this SCP-999 is from a very squishable universe where our 999 is a very happy camper and has a little face and little hands. And so here you go. SCP-999 is present. It's a very friendly guy. Tickles to hold. It's a little, It's a little hard to hold SCP-999 for a very long time, so I hope you are appreciating the effort I'm putting into this. And so yes, the very squishable boy. Very squishable. Very friendly boy. Pretty much everybody's favorite SCP. All fans of SCP-999 unite. So yes, SCP-999 will be here in our audiophonics lab for the rest of stream. Can it cure my depression? Well, Cheese Cat, SCP-999 does work as a possible treatment of depression and PTSD and the like, but it's not a one-time fix. It's kind of a therapeutic, you should say. Spiker, welcome to Site42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Soul Hunter, thank you for... Is this your first actual donation of today's stream? Yes. As well as being a member, make sure to grab yourself a plate of tacos on your way past the commissary. I've made a mistake. The break room has a doorway to another dimension. In the cabinet under the sink, it seems to be growling. Oh, man. You ever read that R.L. Stine Goosebumps book about the spooky sponge under the sink? Man, that scared the absolute shart out of me as a child, man. That was horrifying. Frickin' sink sponge. Ah. So yes, I don't fuck with under the sink pocket dimensions. Get security. Old Bowl, thank you for donating again. Almost fell down the stairs. My eyes are fuzzy. Oh no, you got the fuzzy eye disease? Oh, I hate that. Feel your way to medical and get that fixed immediately. Dark Duality, thank you for donating again. There were only supposed to be used 4 people for the lollipop test. The fifth person got in contact with one OG Entertainment's test subjects. Oh, interesting. I mean, was the test subject's saliva still on the lollipop or something after all that time? Because, gross. Blake, thank you for donating again. What makes you think that I'm in reality fully? Well... SCP-682 isn't in reality fully either, and we still keep it pretty well contained. So, you know, it is what it is when it comes to whatever appendage you're putting into our universe. We would like that appendage contained. Old Bull, thank you for donating again. SCP-529, Josie the Half-Cat, just came up to me for pets. Well, that's very nice, but you should still not infect Josie with your creepy... eye fuzz. You should go to medical. Silent Follower, thank you for donating again. Good night. Well, good night to you. And as a time check for everybody, we are currently at 135 minutes of this 180-minute stream. So there are 45 minutes left in today's stream, everyone. 45 minutes. Dr. Frogman, can you tell Desk who you're talking about? I see you're talking about someone. There might be something I can do on the back end if there's an issue. There's a bug somewhere in the office that's frustrating me. Desk, when you get that name from Dr. Frogman, log it in the Discord back channels, and I will look into it after stream. Old Bowl, thank you for donating again. Josie is in the med bay for some reason. Well, Josie likes to roam the site, so it's not a big deal. All right, let me double check this real quick. All clear. SCP-939 would be so dreamy if it was more human. Are you daft? You're talking about the dogs with many voices right now. Why? First of all, reminder that we don't fraternize with the anomalies. Second of all, reminder that we don't fraternize with the anomalies. Frickin' bug. I feel like I'm about to have a Walter White crash out in this lab. Damn it! Damn it again! Yeah, you better run. Crab Cakes, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself a shrimp cocktail on your way past the commissary. Book repair update. Its vertebrae is still broken. Well, one step at a time. Good luck. You can get assistance from the restoration department if needed. All right, Dr. Frogman, I did take the liberty of looking into your friend's user handle, and they have been hidden. So they must have done something. So if your friend makes trouble, as their name, Troublemaker, says so. We can give it a chance, but Desk is going to be watching. No one can say I'm not a kind and loving content creator. But watch it. You have now been unhidden. I mean, Desk, do not threaten Dr. Frogman. If their friend's a dick, it's not their fault. And hopefully you're not a dick in the first place. And it was all a big misunderstanding in the past. Right? Blake, thank you for donating again. I'm here to retrieve a certain reptile that escaped. From where? And can you get rid of them? Which lizard? We have a lot of lizards actually in containment. There are a lot of different lizard anomalies. Old Bull, thank you for donating again. Eyes cured, heading back to work. Also, Josie is following me. Must have enjoyed the pets. I'm having to make sure I don't step on her. Just make sure that you didn't infect her with the fuzzy eyes. That would not be great. Nicholas, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a roast turducken on your way past the commissary. Good evening to you, Dr. Sherman. Going out of the Democratic wire to request mobile task forces on the Illuminate front. Anomalies the Foundation could use. Also, send a medic if you can spare one. Oh, the Illuminate. I see. We're dealing with some Helldivers scenario. Okay, Super Earth needs help. Let's, yeah, I don't want the Illuminate coming to Earth, so let's give them a little backup. It's fine. Meanwhile, okay, hold on a second. Not that. No, go back. I said what I said. Huh, interesting. There's a plague doctor in here named SPC 049. The Shark Punching Center doesn't have an 049, which, you know, over the years I thought that would have parodied out at some point. What is the Shark Punching Center's version of a plague doctor? Soul Hunter, thank you for donating again. Please, oh, the browser reset on me. I need a minute to refresh. Okay, we're here. Chat is loading. Stop that. Refresh there. Where was it? Where was it? Where was it? Dun, 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 dun. All right, so Soul Hunter, you said, please don't enter the break room. The portal in the cabinet has them put down 3D class after sending them in to investigate it. Site security has been called. Okay, but how did it get them? Did they go in and get spat back out? Did they go in and just not come back? I need some more details on what we're dealing with here. Again, under the sink scenarios, not a fan. Old Bull, thank you for donating again. She seems to be walking fine, which is still very strange, you know, 2 legs and all. Well, yes, but that's the kind of strange we're used to. We don't have to worry about that. How do the SCPs have phone devices? Intern Puppet, in some universes, certain SCPs can get privileges for devices that are allowed internet access within the Foundation's intranet. So they can't see the whole of the internet, they can't breach secrecy, but they're allowed chat functions as long as they behave themselves. Can someone put screen recording? Well, SCP-4521, obviously the screen recorders are on in your cell. That's how I'm going to record you when you finally scream. So don't worry, the recordings are live. So scream whenever you're ready. I can't wait, honestly. By the way, Site42 staff, you have successfully hit 300 likes. Congratulations on this feat. Containment Hazard Assessment Team cannot be beat. Amber, thank you for your first donation of today's stream, and thank you for making the effort to do it through the Ko-Fi. We appreciate the effort. It's not close to me, but... oh, and grab yourself a stroopwafel on your way past the commissary. Stroopwafel. Stroopwafel. It's not close to me, but I was at the discovery location of SCP-7308 recently. It's cool to see something familiar in the wiki. 7038, you say? Wait. 7308. Oh, thank God. I went to SCP-7038 because, you know, we transpose digits. There's a lot of numbers in the Foundation. We can get it wrong. Sometimes you mess up a digit. 7038 has an adult content splash for features sexual themes and language but does not depict sexual acts, graphic depiction of blood, gore, or mutilation of body parts, description of self-harm, and graphic content related to childbirth. And I was like, Amber, why would you want to be anywhere near this anomaly? So yes, thankfully, I got it backwards. And you said 7308. Yeesh. 7308, codename the legally distinct Yeti. It's contained in a standard humanoid containment cell at Site 309. It appears to be a red sphere approximately 2 meters in diameter. All attempts to perceive the true appearance of 7308 have been unsuccessful. And it was discovered in Poplar Grove, Illinois, after reports of an orb wandering a local apple orchard. So you visited an apple orchard in Poplar Grove, Illinois. I hope you had fun out there and did not encounter any orbs. The guy who's inside your walls, thank you for your first donation of today's stream outside of those memberships. Thank you again for the generosity there. As well as being a member, make sure to grab yourself a Belgian waffle on your way past the commissary. Here's £5 to celebrate hitting 300 likes. Your generosity and celebration is much appreciated. To our victory! Intern Williams, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a kielbasa on your way past the commissary. Help, I'm one of the D class under the sink. This place is dark and smells like soup and hell. It smells like soup and hell under the sink. Obol, can you confirm soup and hell odors in your presence? A peculiar mix of odors. Meanwhile, well, It looks like we lost yet another D class, or was D class Williams one of the three? Nix, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a Twix bar on your way past the commissary. Am I an SCP? By the way, there's a breach. Oops. Well, that depends on if you are listed on the SCP database that you are an SCP. I don't know much about you, so I don't know if there is a Nix listed in the SCP archives. Meanwhile, if there's a breach, I mean, that's just a Wednesday around here. Although it is Tuesday, so Wednesday's a day early, unfortunately. Either way, security will clean it up. By the way, Site42 staff, we are at the 150-minute mark, which means we have approximately 30 minutes left in today's stream. 30 minutes left in today's stream, so get your questions in. Intern Davis, or sorry, Researcher Davis, what? Does it let me tell if you're a Mobile Task Force Captain or a Level 1 Researcher? It doesn't tell me what member level you are, but Davis, you want the hard-to-destroy reptile, you say? Well, I would love for it to not be alive in our universe. So if you can get rid of it permanently, I'd find that very pleasant. Soul Hunter, thank you for donating again. They went in the cabinet, there was a scream and a familiar voice was heard. Carl, that kills people. There is something trying to get out. Do not fucking let Carl out of that cupboard. No. Carl stays. Carl stays in the cabinet. No. We are not dealing with that. Nix, thank you for donating again. And you didn't send a message, so just thank you for your generosity. Yo, I remember you. I saw you when I was securing your work area when that containment breach happened last week. Hey, our containment breach was like a month ago, okay? It was farther back than that. We are doing successfully at not having breaches here at Site 42. So yeah, we're fine. It wasn't last week. It was like a month ago, for sure. Are any of the SCPs edible? Actually, a lot of SCPs are food. So, yes. SCP-1600, like we talked about today, the Philosopher's Cheese. It's a liquid that makes anything into cheese, and then you can eat that cheese. Meanwhile, there's the self-replicating cakes, which is SCP-871, I believe? And the self-replicating cakes, I was correct, it was 871. Thank you. If not eaten, then 2 cakes will appear instead of 1, and the cakes will continue to multiply until the world is covered in cakes. So, yeah, please eat the 871s unless you are anomalous, then don't, because the cakes can only be eaten by humans. If a cake is eaten by an anomaly or an animal, then it also multiplies, so it doesn't help. Colossal Squid, Ollie and Carla, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to staff. Although, Ollie, this is the second time you've subscribed today. Interesting. I'll be keeping track of this behavior, because you can't quit and then sign up for a job again before we stop offering you the job. The Salt Dragon, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some popcorn on your way past the commissary. Thinking of writing an entry for an anomalous research site. Are there others I should be aware of? Well, the most famous anomalous research site is SCP-1730 Codename, What Happened to Site 13? And Site 13 is a huge anomalous situation. That's a long article. You can find other anomalous sites as well, but that's the big one that everyone knows about. Everyone else, if you know any other anomalous SCP sites, list them in the chat. But yeah, Sherman Gaming, wait a goddamn minute. Wait a goddamn minute, I say to you too. This chat's not big enough for the both of us. I so rarely encounter other Shermans. It's always funny. Where did SCP-067 go? Well, the pen is currently being used by Steve to write out its his life story using it. It's a pen. It's not a person. So calling it why would you call a pen a he? That's such a strange thing you did there. Clement Flower, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a box of Pocky on your way past the commissary. And you didn't send a message with your donation, so simply thank you for your generosity. Glitching the Goated, please pay attention to the moderator, the one with the blue name by the name of Desk. Apple Bloom 82, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Go ahead and grab yourself a hot slice of pizza on the way past the commissary. And 482 is lovely for a slice of pizza. You have got the way wrong designation, Apple Bloom. SCP-458 is the Infinite Pizza Box, which is delightful for a hot slice. But what you're talking about, SCP-482, is the mentally mutating straitjacket. A black leather straitjacket that... what does it do? Time point alpha refers to the initial stage of exposure to the straitjacket. The item can be removed before alpha elapses without completely ill effect. During this period, the subject feels mentally better. The straitjacket negates your mental afflictions during the initial time situation. Although when you take the straitjacket off, your mental illnesses return, so it's not a permanent fix. And then past that point, you physically mutate into something that has to do with your mental disorder. And there's a whole experiment log about what the different mental disorders lead to transformation-wise of SCP-482, if you're interested in that. But I wouldn't suggest wearing it. It does not seem to help in any real way. Old Bull, thank you for donating again. D-Class Williams has escaped the break room sink anomaly. He has appeared in a pond in South Africa, contacting scientists at Anomaly ASAP. Well, besides the dying that everyone's doing there, it could be useful as a teleportation anomaly. We'll have to do some more research for this. Random and Solam, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. What would happen if you put the Super Bowl... it's SCP. It's not Shark Punching Center, SPC. You gotta get your designations right. But if you put the Super Ball in the Infinite IKEA, well, it would bounce faster and faster, and it would bounce off the walls, and it would bounce through the walls until it accidentally bounced through the door. That's pretty straightforward. Nicholas, thank you for what I believe is maybe your first donation of today's stream. Just going to confirm that. Second donation of today's stream. Thank you for donating again. Mostly curiosity, which mobile task force would do best against each enemy in Helldivers 2? I feel Nine-Tailed Fox would be okay against the bots. So I'm only modestly knowledgeable about the Helldivers enemies, but I know that there's 3 kinds. There's the bugs, the bots, and whatever the Illuminate are. I don't even know what the Illuminate are, man. I've only heard the name. So let me first look into that. Helldivers, Illuminate. One of 3 factions the Helldivers can fight against. Known as squids, ancient hierarchical... Alright, so a squid species. Okay, so squid aliens with some technology. Alright, so if I go to the mobile task force... Mobile task force list... Pretty easily, we would use Mobile Task Force Gamma 13, codename Asimov's Lawbringers. They are a task force specializing in the investigation, tracking, and apprehension of anomalous objects, persons, and entities associated with Anderson Robotics. So obviously, they know what they're doing with robotics, so they handle the bots. Furthermore, the bugs. I swear we had an insect group. Weird. Don't we have a task force for bugs and spiders? We just talked about this in the hot dog rankings this week. Let me, hot dog eaters, Control F, bug. Pest control, there we go. Mobile Task Force Lambda 12, codename Pest Control. Why couldn't I find that? Specialized in tracking, containing, exterminating anomalous vermin. That's why I didn't find insects or spiders with them. Okay, so yes, Mobile Task Force Lambda 12, codename Pest Control, would be your bug fighters. And finally, the squids. That... that would be Beta 777, codename Hecate's Spear. They specialize in thaumaturgical ritual analysis and countermeasures, including thaumaturgical combat. If we have squids that are like outsiders, I want the wizards on the job. So there we go. All right, coming back to chat. Refreshing chat because it seems to be having some troubles. All right. Buffering, buffering, buffering. All right, chat. No, if they're, yes, I approve adding Sherman to the emote list. You're welcome. What if Dr. Sherman were bees? Yes, that can be added to the spreadsheet, Sally. As can a Shermiku. The guy who's inside your walls, thank you for donating again. Have you heard of quantum immortality? If so, do you think the Foundation could prove such a phenomenon? I believe I am familiar with this, actually, but I want to double check to make sure I'm saying correctly. A speculative thought experiment, not a scientifically proven theory, suggesting that under the many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics, your consciousness would always find itself in a parallel universe where you survive life-threatening events. This occurs because every quantum event with multiple outcomes, like the fatal accident, causes the universe to branch, with each outcome existing in a separate reality. From the individual's perspective, consciousness would only experience a surviving timeline, leading to a subjective experience of being immortal, while the others in the dead timelines would experience death. I mean, that's not really immortality because there is an end to all life. And meaning quantum immortality is more like just quantum tree branch hopping. So I don't even like the name. But I would not be shocked if someone made an SCP about this, so I'm going to check the database. SCP-7316 is literally the concept of quantum immortality. So, yeah, the guy who's inside your walls, I would check out SCP-7316 for more information. Old Bull, thank you for donating again. New information coming through. D-Class Greg Williams is connected to Soul Hunter's break room sink. Send more D-Class through if possible. D-Class Greg Williams connected to Soul Hunter's break room sink. That's... Alright, there's a lot going on with that sink, but sure. We can spare 2 more D-Class. I mean, they don't grow on trees. Hey, what's your favorite book? Intern Genderby, my favorite book is a series called The Dresden Files, a long-running series by author Jim Butcher about a wizard private eye in modern-day Chicago, dealing with a universe where all the monsters and myths are real. It's a rip-roaring good time. Although you do have to get over the main character being a kind of dumb misogynist who thinks he's a nice guy for a little bit. But overall, the story's very good. SCP-096-A, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself... no, don't grab it yourself. We will drop some pudding cups from the commissary at your containment cell. Aoki, wait, now I want to read that. Well, do it, because the next book comes out in January, and me and mine are freaking stoked. 096-A, thank you for donating again, and thank you for both your Lemonhead friend as well as your hot dog. If you like the Dresden Files, you might like the Dispatcher. I have not heard of the Dispatcher. I will have to look into it. I mean, if you like the SCP Foundation, you'll probably also like the Dresden Files. It's all in that same urban fantasy, all the monsters are there kind of vibe. Intern Olson, if there is an anomaly that has incurable depression, assuming there isn't one, what would happen if it interacted with SCP-999? Well, you said it on the dot there. You said incurable depression, which means that 999 might be able to alleviate it for a short while, but as soon as they are separated, right back into the bottom of the barrel. Have you read I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream, Doc? Yes, I have. It's a very good short story, and I've watched a lot of videos about the game that was made about it as well. Very interesting stuff. Oh, and by the way, along with the Dresden Files as my favorite book series, I need to also point out my other favorite big book series from when I was a youth, and there are no more entries, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Obviously. I mean, why do you think the channel's name is what it is? Intern Macaulay, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Bread, thank you for your first donation of today's stream. Make sure to get yourself some chicken salad on your way past the commissary. And since you did not send a message, thank you for your generosity. Oh, by the way, staff, we are inside 10 minutes left of today's stream. You have 7 minutes left to get your questions in. Old Bull, thank you for donating again. 3999 seems lonely. Maybe go say hi. SCP-3999. That thing? The horrifying reality bender that tortured James Talleyrand for infinity millennia? What would that thing have to say to me? Well, checking your chat log, it looks like you just want me to say hi. So, hello. Yeah, just because you've got this going on, remember, I don't typically just shout people out for the hell of it. Usually I'm conversing with people in the chat because they ask interesting questions or say something that I want to respond to. Just asking for interaction is not interesting chatting. You know what I mean? We're here to chat, to have a conversation about the SCP Foundation. So just in the future, everybody, make yourself known through interesting and intelligent conversation or even silly memes to be called out. But in this case, hello to you 3999, one of my favorite SCPs. And I like that 3999 art you have as your profile picture. Bread, thank you for donating again. Please shout out Ollie. She's autistic and loves you. Well, 2 in a row, huh? But, hello, Ollie. I saw that you subscribed twice. I shouted you out then, but, hope you're having a good day. As good as we can have in the SCP Foundation anyways. Things are terrifying all the time. Is there a group of interest that makes anomalous games? Well, Intern Lion, I believe you would be talking about the group of interest known as Arcadia. Groups of interest database. And by the way, on the SCP Wiki, there is a groups of interest database where you can see all of our groups of interest. And there's also a link to the international groups of interest that don't exist on the English wiki. So Arcadia, defined by highest highs and lowest lows, Arcadia was a rampage through the video game industry driven by arcane occult technologies that relied on luck as much as demons, but they made it work. The popularity came at the expense of their customers' exploitation and damnation, without their knowledge, of course. All that slowed to a crawl, however, after the 1983 video game crash, and the other world started collecting an unfulfilled promises. Their buyout by technological powerhouse Prism Products Corporation in 1991 revitalized the Arcadia name, albeit under shady practices and behind closed doors. The Arcadia of today is an entirely different beast. Nobody's exactly sure what they do. Rumors are the only knowledge most have, but some say their longtime rival, the FBI's Unusual Incidents Unit, have more that they're not spilling. If you're curious, maybe find some Arcadia to play, because after all, why not Arcadia? James and Vitor, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Chat is refreshed. 2 minutes left on the clock. Let's get some good questions, people. Let's get some good questions. Do. The Foundation's stance on mustard, please. Well, I do prefer him on the beat. Dr. Sherman, what would happen if SCP-035 was attached to 106? What would corrode first? 035 goop or 106's face? So, Intern Bloxo, an interesting acid versus acid match you have there. We don't have this anywhere on the database that I'm ready for, that I'm knowledgeable about. SCP-035 and 106. Do they ever interact? Well, here, a hypothetical by SCP Explained Story and Animation, one of those YouTube animated channels. They seem to have it that 106 could survive, although I don't really trust their scientific rigor, but... Based on 035 and the Allegata lore, I have to consider that 035 is a more powerful entity than 106 in the grand scheme of things. So I'm going to assume that either we end up with a mortal old man body for 035, which is frustrating, or 035 rots 106. So those are my two hypothetical guesses for what would happen if we mash those two together. Why is your monitor so high up? You know, a fair question here in the Audiophonics lab. Because when we're recording documentation, we have the microphone at eye level, and the recording up here is just for... keeping track of what the recording's doing. Actual editing and such is done at the other office. Mason, thank you for your first donation of today's stream. Grab yourself a hot pickle on your way past the commissary. If Shy Guy broke out, what would you do? Look at the floor so I don't look at its face, and try and put a bag on its head once it calmed down. It's that easy. I mean, chill out. It's not that difficult. People freak out all the time. I think I just saw something. Where was it? I was interested, but now the chat has refreshed and I can't find it. Cypher, your intern Cypher, you're saying Illustrated also has an 035106 video. Well, I trust him more than I trust that other channel, so let me SCP-035106 Illustrated. 106 and 035 are brothers? Oh no! I appreciate you, Mr. Illustrated, good sir. But I do not like this just on the start of my thought process. Just because they both have acid, you think they can be friends? No. No. Boo, hiss. Boo. Boo. I don't care that Dr. Sumerian helped you with this. I'm just ripping them. There is no canon. They're allowed to enjoy this, and it looks like it's actually a fine story. Okay, now that silliness is done, we are 5 minutes over on stream ending, which means Site 42 staff, it is time for the outro. As always, at the end of stream, I tell you my favorite SCPs. Now, I'm not going to tell you that the SCPs I personally wrote are my favorites. That would be cheating. But instead, I am going to tell you that if you want to read the SCPs I personally wrote, you can go to the Sherm Site 42 hub and author page on the SCP Wiki. There, you can see all the SCPs I have personally written, as well as contributed sound effects to, or voice lines, stuff like that. And one tab over on my author page, there are some links. Some links that people are very often interested in finding, but they're just not persistent, just not intrepid, just not determined enough to find. So if you've got the power to find those links, I believe in you. And of course, while you're there, you can become a Site 42 patron or YouTube channel member to support the channel monthly. You can do Ko-Fis or YouTube Super Chats to donate to us once at a time. Either way, direct donations help us keep the lights on here at Site 42 because we don't get a lot of sponsors. SCP's pretty niche, so we appreciate your support. It helps us keep the lights on around here. Meanwhile, if you can't donate because you are part of the broke gang, well, trust me, we're an arts community. We are familiar with starving artists around these parts. And as long as you are here, liking, sharing, subscribing, watching our videos, watching our streams, commenting in the chat, commenting on the videos, then you are an honored and valuable member of Mobile Task Force Sci 42, codename the Signal Boosters. And because of your algorithmic toiling, the YouTube is forced to bring people to visit SCP Site 42, and you know what? They find us, they like us, they subscribe, and we get more power to support the SCP Wiki and its authors, animators, artists, game devs, filmmakers, merch makers, etc. So Mobile Task Force Sci 42, codename Signal Boosters, I thank you for your service. Now, without further ado, my favorite SCPs in no particular order are SCP-3999, SCP-3043, SCP-008-J, SCP-Spooky-J, SCP-5039. Nope, SCP-5031. That donation distracted me and I said the wrong number. 5031, SCP-5320, SCP-8980, and content warning on the last one, it is a rough read. Speed round. 3999304308-J, Spooky-J, 503151755320, content warning on the last one, it's a rough read. Last minute donation, Render, thank you for your first donation to the stream. Get yourself a tamale at the commissary and Site Delta on top, as you always say. So. Oh, And by the way, as soon as we are done here, if you are still hankering for some SCP-related hijinks, our moderator, The Desk, will be streaming on Twitch at The Desk SCP as soon as we are signed off here. So if you are not done for the day, head over to Twitch and hang out with The Desk. So, Site 42 staff, I am Dr. Theron Sherman, Site Director of Site 42 and Head Containment Specialist. This has been another Office Hours with Dr. Sherman, a subsidiary of the anomalous broadcast from Site 42. I hope you had fun. I hope you learned something. Be safe, be well, and as always, secure, contain, protect. I'll see you in the next video or stream. And Anthony, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. All around me are familiar faces, worn out places, worn out faces, bright and early for the daily races, going nowhere, going nowhere. Their tears are filling up their glasses. No expression, no expression. Hide my head, I wanna drown my sorrow. No tomorrow, no tomorrow. And I find it kind of funny, I find it kind of sad. The dreams in which I'm dying are the best I ever had. I find it hard to tell you, I find it hard to take. When people run in circles, it's a very, very mad world. Mad world. Orange Cloud, thank you for your first donation right at the end of stream, as well as being a member. Grab yourself an Orange Julius at the commissary. And Pen Stream, only at the ending. And our credit song for the day is Mad World by multiple artists such as Tears for Fears or Michael Andrews and several others. Find your favorite version. We'll see you at the next one. Mason, thank you for one more last-minute donation. What do you do for the all SCPs got out? Probably die. Okay, be safe, be well, everyone. See you in the next stream or video. Secure, contain, protect.